So good everybody, good evening, no, good afternoon everybody. Welcome to the acceleration event, the manual one that is. This morning we had the driverless acceleration, which was already a lot of fun and quite spectacular. But now this is the real deal with drivers, with fully well set up cars, especially for this event. And the first car already on the line. We started nicely on time. It's car number 68 from Taiwan. Very good drive off. Ooh, really nice first acceleration run. I don't see any time yet on the scoreboard, but let me check the online. Yeah, I just found it online. It's already a decent time of 4.02 for the team from all the way from Taiwan. So already a very decent lap time from them. I do expect the times to be tumbling down towards the 3.5, maybe 3.3 seconds. I know these cars are pretty good in a straight line. And now we have the car from Romania, Cluj-Napoca. Gentle run towards the end. No timing on the scoreboard again, so let's see that it's a 6.45 from my timing page. Online, everybody can follow this online as well. We will try to give you the timing on the. Yeah, I know the timekeepers are already at it. They came out of the van and they are trying to fix the system so we can have that information as well. At least now we have the car number as well. We have University from Leuven from Belgium at the line, and they will start their first run. Just to remind everybody, this is an event. It's an acceleration from standstill, some distance behind the line. The moment you trip the beacon, the time starts, and then you have to accelerate 75 meters, and at the end the time stops, just about now. Already at 3.88, already below the 4-second mark. Very good first run from Leuven.
Yeah, and I think the best times we saw today at the driverless acceleration were in the 3.2, 3.3, 3.4 range. So let's see if the drivers can match those incredible paces.
It should be interesting because, I mean, the driverless cars have one big advantage, being driverless and less weight, obviously. But yeah, you never seem to underestimate how well a driver can perform in the car. So, and we have the second run of the car 68 from Taiwan. I'm not going to even try to pronounce their university name because I probably screw it up anyway. But the first run was a 4.02, I think. Yep.
When the power does seem to cut out after about 20 meters, the car is just coasting through, hitting the accelerator again just at the very end there. But not going to be an improvement.
Definitely some kind of control issue or drive. All these cars obviously drive by wire, right? So there's some level of control between the pedal and the actuators. So not sure what happened there, but already they had a pretty decent time, and they get a third and a fourth run anyway. So they'll be able to improve. Next up, 41 Deggendorf. Okay, maybe they won't. I'm not sure. The rules keep changing every year, so I have to keep up a little bit. But anyway, we have car number 41 from Deggendorf. Yeah, just lining up. Track is clear. The marshals have to make sure that there's no obstacles on track that can cause any hazard. Very decently off the line. And the time is at 3.83. So yeah, they're understandably very happy with that time. Any time below 4 seconds is a very good one indeed.
And we have car number 95 now from Chalmers, one of the fastest at the skid pad, both driverless and manual. And I believe they were also one of the faster driverless acceleration times, weren't they, Mickey?
Yeah, Chalmers, you're right, Yegor. Chalmers was one of the top, I think top 10 even, of the driverless. So the car has the potential. And I think that was actually quite close to the Zurich car as well. If I remember correctly, it was like a 3.4 or 3.5, something like that. So very good time indeed. And this is actually a very good comparison because there's not much time between that time and this time. A lot of wheel spin though, accelerating through. 3.67. So adding the driver is adding a couple of tenths, maybe 2, 3 tenths.
Yeah, you'd think in the skid pad also not having the weight of the driver would be an advantage, but Matti and I were keeping track in the morning, and actually having a driver most of the time was beneficial to the teams.
Yeah, you were keeping track? Nice. I like that. Car number 120, Diepholz. Yeah, check is clear. Green flag. There we go with Diepholz. Very smoothly off the line, not the fastest, but accelerating all the way through, 4.57. Yegor, I'm also looking at the first 10-meter time. We have an extra, well, in between the measurement. And so far the fastest is a 0.76. And I remember from this morning, Zurich did a 0.55. So that's already 0.2 of a second in the first 10 meters.
Well, but that's comparison to Zurich, of course. We'll see how they do when they come around with the driver. I don't see them in the queue just yet, but we're just at the start, still plenty of time to go. But of course, as we know, that time will pass by much quicker than you think.
Yeah, exactly. In the meantime, 172 Dortmund, a bit of a wheel spin. Driver had to correct a little bit. And you can show that it shows on the time because it's a 4.28. I think that if they get a launch correct, then they should be able to break the 4-second mark as well.
Yeah, because quite a lot of wheel spin there, almost until the halfway point of the acceleration. And now we have the other Karlsruhe, car number 44 from Ulm.
Yeah, and surprisingly, there aren't many cars in the queue yet. Ulm off the line. 3.62, there we go. Another very good time from them. Well below the 4-second mark. Let's see what they did on the first 10 meters. Yeah, there you go. It's a 0.64, already a tenth faster than the second time. So you can win a lot already in the first 10 meters. And that translates to even more towards the end, doesn't it? So.
No, absolutely. I mean, you'd say the first 10 meters, really the launch is the most critical stage of the entire acceleration run because, you know, in the back half of it already you have enough traction, you have enough grip. It's just pedal to the metal and going as fast as you can. It's really the launch where most of the drivers can make a difference in how they run.
Yeah, we know from obviously from history and experience that the first meters are your traction limited, right? And after that, at a certain point, it becomes power limited. So it's actually a nice crossover point, and the way you manage that really determines how well you do on this event.
And just taking a peek at the queue, first we have rolling up car number 92 from Sevilla. And then right behind them, we're going to have car number 54, also a Spanish compatriot from Barcelona.
And yeah, nice head-to-head between the Spanish teams. That should be interesting.
Yeah, there's a couple of these going on. I think we have 4 or 5 Swiss teams present at FSG this year as well. It'll be interesting to see how they all stack up against each other.
Yeah, the Portuguese. Don't forget the Portuguese.
2 Portuguese teams as well, or at least 2. I think 3.
Yeah, a lot more. Yeah, Sevilla starting the run. 6.06. Very steady. No, at least we have Lisbon, we have Porto, we have Leiria. So at least 3. Maybe I'm forgetting some, but we'll see soon enough. Dortmund for the second run. Yeah, then Dortmund off the line, 172. Accelerating all the way through, 4.32.
It was a very gentle start, but no wheel spin at all.
Exactly. Ulm just behind them for their second run. Just to remind everybody, we didn't see this this morning with the driverless, but these drivers are allowed to go around, driving slowly back, obviously, and then immediately taking a second attempt without stopping or without changing. If they elect to do so, they can steer off and do some setup changes, but usually it's better to do the second run. You have some heat in the tires.
Very good.
Yeah, 3.6. Nice,
yeah,
very nice.
Improved by a couple hundredths.
Yeah, and that's I think because they didn't do any setup changes as far as we can see. Obviously, they have some buttons on the dashboard or whatever. But in the end, it's maybe also a little bit of heat of the tires and maybe some control from the driver.
And now we have the car number 54 from Barcelona lining up. And immediately, of course, we hear some cheers from the stands. Very, very typical of these Iberian teams. Let's see how they can do. DRS is open. And just waiting for the final go ahead. There we go. .78.
Yeah, also very decent.
Yeah, very good
very
first
consistently
time.
Below the 4-second mark, these teams. So next up, Sevilla again for the second run. Perfectly aligned by the driver. Marshall didn't have to do anything to that car, so very well judged. Let's see, car number 92 given the green flag. It's a bit of a hesitant start, a bit of a hesitant launch, and going up 6.07, very consistent.
And already a little bit of a break in the action here. Some teams are returning, but I believe all of those have already done both of their runs. And there's one car, car number 76 or 74. I can't quite make it out. We'll see when it gets here. Did you bring your binoculars around this year, Mickey? Yeah, Mickey with his eagle eye implement is confirming to me that it is car number 76. Haven't had the time yet to memorize what each of the car numbers is, which university it is, which team it is. Hopefully by the time endurance rolls around, we will be ready.
Looking at the color scheme, it could be either Ulm or, or Karlsruhe, but
or
Ulm,
the other
we just saw them, so it shouldn't be that.
Yeah, Karlsruhe has those very characteristic yellow highlights on their rims. That is the easiest way to make the distinction. As 54 from Barcelona rolls up for their second attempt. Two big cheers from the grandstands.
And indeed, it is Karlsruhe, was correct. It's the other Ulm. And just behind them, there are two other cars rolling up. So we should get some more action soon.
Meanwhile, Barcelona gets the green flag, sets off immediately. The launch definitely looked faster than the previous time. I think a little less acceleration throughout, but still a very good time, 3.84.
Yeah, and all the cars obviously lining up in the first run queue. They are being checked by the scrutineers just to make sure the car is in ready to drive condition. No loose parts, no missing wheels or something like that. Just looking a bit further behind, we have car number 29 waiting as well, getting the last checks. That's the University of Navarra. And car number 279, which is Pforzheim. Yeah, and actually, I'm just discussing with one of the scrutineers here, Kevin. There's quite some wind on the straight, and it's actually coming from the front, so it's a headwind actually. So I would advise to all the teams to put the wings as flat as possible, open up that DRS to reduce the drag.
No, indeed. And perhaps the queue is looking a little bit barren at the moment because teams are hoping that the wind might die down a little bit. Not sure how much of a difference that would make, but you know, the teams, they look for any competitive advantage they can gain.
Yeah, we saw this morning as well. People showing up late to the driverless acceleration, and in the end, not making making it on time. So missing out on that opportunity. So at least I would advise the teams to come on time and get your both runs in to make sure that you have points. It doesn't matter that 1 hour extra that you wait. It doesn't matter that much. So it's not worth the risk, I always say. But of course, every team is allowed to make their own decisions and their own strategy. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes you have bad luck.
So speaking of flat wings, you can see the Karlsruhe wing as flat as they can possibly get it, lining up at the green flag. The autonomous car posted a 4.109. How do you think the driver will do, Mickey?
Well, so far not really well, because the driver already tripped the barrier. So he tripped the barrier before he got the green flag. So the time started counting. That's why we see a 9 point something, which is not very fast compared to the other teams. So I'm not sure what happened there, but the car actually drove a bit beyond the trigger.
Yeah, they did they seem to be stopped in the right place, and I don't know, maybe the marshal wanted to move them a little bit forward and the driver misinterpreted that. But indeed, first run completely sacrificed, unfortunately. They will have one more attempt.
Yeah, and immediately after that, but I see the little golf cart with one of the team members with the push bar being brought to the front. So that means that the car probably stalled just outside our visual range. I don't see it. I don't also not seeing it coming back either. So can you see a bit more there?
Yeah, the return lane is completely empty. So indeed, the car is not moving under its own power at the moment.
Yeah, that would explain the need for the jackman.
Is his name Hugh?
Might be. Yeah. Yeah, so until that car is cleared, I think they will hold off with sending any other cars in. Especially if it's just around the corner. You just want to make that clear for the other drivers to be able to drive back and do their second run. So without any slaloms or weird detours or whatever.
And meanwhile, we have car number 279 from Pforzheim getting some final checks by the officials. A very nice livery on that car. It's black, but with a lot of pink highlights, very floral motifs. Definitely stands out amongst the rest of the competitors this year.
Yeah, too bad we don't have a style award anymore, like we used to do a lot of years back. But anyway, it's a very nice looking car indeed. And another car approaching in the queue, which is car number 123. I think it's Ambergweiden. I can't really tell, but that's what I'm reading.
And meanwhile, the Karlsruhe car did manage to drive back under its own power, but they are electing to not go immediately for their second run. Pulling off to the side here, probably to make some adjustments. There was a bit of a thunk from the front motors there as the car stopped.
Yeah, you don't want to have funky noises in any part of the car, actually. Yeah, UAS Pforzheim been given the clear go ahead to go to the start line. Yeah, Kevin just waiting for the team members to get settled. Also the golf cart to be positioned in the right place before Pforzheim is allowed to go.
And they did not participate in the driverless acceleration, so we don't have a baseline to compare to.
No, can't remember seeing them either. I probably just looked them up on the timing sheets of the driverless. So Yeah, that's interesting to compare them. Pretty decent launch.
Good acceleration throughout as well.
3.7, very good, very good. Also in the club of below 4 seconds, which is impressive.
Yeah, it's currently enough for a provisional third place. And the fastest so far is Ulm with a 3.601. Chalmers with a 3.670. And there are 3 more teams under 4 seconds: Barcelona, Deggendorf, and Leuven. So approaching again a bit of a lull in the number of competitors. You already mentioned car 123 lining up next from Amberg-Weiden, the famous running snail. And I think there are maybe 2 cars behind them. Pforzheim also electing to not go immediately for their second attempt, probably going to try to do a couple of tweaks, see if they can squeeze a couple of more tenths, hundredths of a second out of their car.
Yeah, and car number 123 from Amberg-Weiden, nicknamed Running Snail. Actually, this is one of the fastest snails that I've seen. So it should be interesting. They usually build a very decent, very good car, and a very quick car in the last couple of years as well. Always up in the top 10 there. Sometimes even managing to get into the top 5 in the final 5 of the endurance. So yeah, very impressive how they managed to keep that form from a couple of years ago as well. So yeah, they're just being checked by the scrutineers, and then we'll see what kind of time they can do and whether they can challenge for the top spot. That should be very interesting.
Yeah, just looking at the skid pad times from this morning, they were able to post a 4.854. So anything sub 5 second is a very good time, and only a few tenths off of the first place from Aachen. So definitely a lot of potential in that car.
Yeah, it is a different event, obviously, acceleration and skid pad, but it just tells you that it's a good car. They understand the car, they understand the tires, they understand the behavior. So that is usually a small hint that it will do well, and we know from experience and from past that they will do well. In general, if you are below 5 seconds on a skid pad, you're doing very well. If you are below 4 seconds on the acceleration, you're doing very well. So if you can combine that, you probably have a quick car.
Yeah, it'll also be very interesting to see how these cars are going to compare to the historic acceleration vehicles. Of course, there's a grand selection there of vehicles, young and old, or old and older, I should rather say. But combustion vehicles, electric vehicles, from all the way back in 2003 to as recent as the early 2020s, I think. So it'll be interesting to see how these stack up. Hearing the ready to go signal from Amberg-Weiden, and indeed they roll up to Mr. Kevin. And up towards the starting line. So what do you think, Mickey? I'm going to go for a 3.8.
Yeah, I'm going to top that. I'm going to go for a 3.65. But I'm optimistic as always.
Very rapid launch. Oh, Mickey smashes both of us out of the water. A 3.57.
Yeah, I was optimistic with 3.65, but it's even faster. Only 800 a second, by the way, but still.
Yeah, not optimistic enough, it seems.
No, very decent indeed. And I'm curious whether they will do a second run immediately or not, making use of the little bit of heat in the tires. It's not going to be much, so maybe they will elect to do some setup changes or tweak or turn the knob of the power to ridiculous mode. I don't know, but we'll see soon enough. If they go again, then we'll have a very good back-to-back comparison how consistent the car is.
Yeah, I feel like with acceleration, maybe a little bit less so than with skid pad, because you have to do this long, slow drive back to the starting line. Any extra heat that you gather in the tires from doing the run dissipates almost immediately.
Yeah, the only thing is, it is, well, we have a little bit of a sun. Asphalt is a little bit warm. It's not as warm as it can be. Usually it can be like 50 or 55 degrees. But yeah, we were right. So they are electing to go not immediately for the second run, but driving off and then do some changes to the car. Yeah, I can't blame them for that. I think it's a sound strategy.
So we're half an hour down, 2.5 hours to go, and we have had 12 teams post a run so far, out of over 60 that have gone through scrutineering, and most of these 12 have only done one run at the moment, not even two.
Yeah, and there are no other parallel events at the moment. We will have that at 4:30 later on. But at the moment, there's no other event, so the teams can focus on this sole event. And my guess is, especially the last hour, will be packed. Because everybody's thinking, okay, these are the ideal conditions, everything is warm. Maybe the start line has been rubbered in for us by other teams. And yeah, let's make use of that and then come in the last hour to take advantage of that. But we'll see how that will handle, how that will work out.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think if they all arrive in the last hour, not all of them will get a chance to run. I know you mentioned it takes around 5 minutes per run in the driverless acceleration. I think
yeah, this is a lot faster though. This
is much faster indeed.
Yeah.
But I think so far we've seen maybe 30 seconds, 45 seconds per team, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, 40, 45 seconds, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's a lot faster. So I would imagine that most of the teams that get in the queue are able to do that. But we see this every year. You gamble and then you lose, especially with your second run if you don't do it immediately after the first one. Electing to go out, get into the back of the queue. Yeah, sometimes you miss out, which is a shame because you have tweaked your car, you made the setup changes, maybe you have some data that you collected during the first run, and then not getting to the second run is just a shame. So Yegor, I know these cars, we haven't seen them all in the driverless acceleration. So are these teams that elect not to do the driverless events, or?
It would seem so. At least the car rolling up right now, car number 167 from Osnabrück, looking at their technical inspection, they never elected to do the EBS test. So I'm assuming that they just decided, you know, the extra development time and the extra engineering time, construction time, everything associated with the building of a car, the additional load of doing the driverless components as well was not worth it for the team.
Yeah, we mentioned this this morning with Jonas here at the driverless. It's so much complexity stacked upon complexity. I mean, already getting a car, basic car, you know, in the combustion era was already quite an achievement. But now with all the electrics and the accumulator. Let's not forget all these accumulators. You cannot buy them online in a web shop. You have to build them by yourself. You have to put in temperature sensors and battery management systems and motor controllers and whatever. So it's a hugely complex feature to have that done. And also, scrutineering here is on a different level, right? It's very strict. Obviously, we've seen fires in the last couple of years, right? The battery fires are really dangerous. So these electric cars get scrutinized pretty strictly here. So just getting that done is already quite an achievement, let alone doing the whole driverless thing on top, which is another level of complexity, as we can see.
No, and of course, these are student teams, so for everybody, it's also doing all of that on top of your studies.
Yeah, and doing it for the first time. And as we all know, if you're doing something for the first time, you're not good at it. that's with everything. So the fact that they are here and they compete well with a finished car is an achievement. So that should be already quite noteworthy.
Indeed, and I think in that regard, it's actually a pretty good year in terms of passing scrutineering, at least. There are 69 out of 84 teams that are through. And can, at the very least, participate in the non-autonomous components of the competition. So very high percentage, especially compared to past years.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, every year we see some teams that struggle with getting past scrutineering. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's small issues or a lot of small issues. Sometimes it's a fundamental issue. Especially it's a safety issue. Then you really have to do something to the car, something really big. Make a big change on the car to make it safe for the scrutineers. Otherwise, they will not let you pass scrutineering. If safety is involved, there are no compromises.
No, indeed. I think even for the historic cars, of course, the scrutineering for them is a little bit more lax, but primarily on the educational aspects of it, not the safety aspects.
Exactly. There are no compromises on safety. If the scrutineers notice something that it's fundamentally unsafe, that car will not compete for sure.
So, looking at the back of the queue, there does seem to be a couple more cars stacking up there. I see cars number 29, 79, and Mickey, maybe with your binoculars, you could see what that car on the left hiding behind the officials is.
Yeah, they're a bit hesitant to come into the queue itself, so they're just staging at the back of the straight, just maybe eyeing each other who will go first. We see this in a lot of race cars in Formula 1 as well, looking at the other, what is my competitor going to do? I'm not sure if that's the case here, obviously, but they're just relaxing maybe, doing the final checks on the car, and then proceeding to the queue.
Indeed. Well, unfortunately, looking at the competitor from Osnabrück, they've decided to pull out of the queue. Not sure if it's an issue that the team themselves discovered with the car or if the scrutineers found something that needs to be changed. But hopefully we'll see them back very soon. And there is a little bit of a queue forming at the back there. But like you say, Mickey, nobody wants to take the final step and make the approach to the starting line.
No, exactly. I see at least car number 127. And 29 has been there for ages. So I can see, and I can see another car coming up.
127 is Lausanne, one of the Swiss competitors, and 29 is San Sebastian Tecnun, the Navarro team.
Yeah, and it looks like Lausanne is being pushed out of the way as well, so nobody is going to want to go first. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We will have some action soon enough, and especially as we approach the final hour of the event, which is quite some time away. We don't have to worry. 79 is in there still. Yeah, 129.
It's closer than you think, Mickey.
Yeah, actually, because it ends at 4:30, right? So yeah, we still have 2.5 hours left. So.
And I see one car is being pushed forward. So the team members swiping away any debris that was on the tires, making sure that it's in optimal condition for the acceleration run.
Yeah, it's a car from Milano.
Yes, I think they are one of the teams that did do a driverless acceleration run.
Yeah, at least I can remember them this morning. Yeah, I'm not sure whether they actually managed to do a time, but...
they DNF'd on their second attempt, but on the first they set a 4.177.
Yeah, which is not too bad, just above the 4-second threshold. Let's see if they can do better with the driver. I didn't think, as far as I can remember, it was a very steady drive. Certainly not pushing to the limits, but now with the driver, maybe, who knows? Yeah, maybe this is the time for us to promote our commentary forum. We've been approached by some officials and some teams were asking whether we can join them in the pits to collect some information about their car, maybe the history of their team or sponsor, whatever. We do have something for that already, which is called the commentary forum. If you don't know what it is, please ask one of the officials. They will show you a QR code, and then you can just fill out every piece of information that you might want us to have. You can even put in some stuff that you might want to tell something about others. Every information is much appreciated by the commenters, our commentary team. And we will make use of that, maybe not during today or tomorrow during autocross, but certainly during endurance we will have a lot more time to do shout-outs or to do greetings or thank yous to sponsors or whatever. So please make sure you fill out the commentary form, and that also saves us time and effort to make up stuff about your car and teams. And trust me, you will be happy and we will be happy as well.
Yeah, in a lack of additional information, the commentator reverts to the natural state of coming up with terrible puns about any and every aspect of the team that we can think of. So if you want to avoid the embarrassment, then give us something else to talk about.
We've been calling electric cars, is this combustion? Because they make a lot of noise and so on. And so you don't want us to do that. So just do it, and then we'll be satisfied as well. In the meantime, Milano is just up to the first queue, first attempt queue, let's say. And Deggendorf is back as well. Probably made some changes. The guys are giving the tires some much needed love and attention to clean them. We always say, if you love the tires will love you back for sure. And Kevin, our head scrutineer here, already waving Deggendorf to come up the line, seeing that this team is already ready to go at it for their final run. We hear the distinct sound, obviously. I think Milano will go first. There you go. So the sound was from them as well. Let's see, Deggendorf is coming up as well. Too bad we don't have a drag race type of setup. Maybe in the future. Maybe,
who knows. But yes, reminding you again that in the autonomous version, Milan set a 4.177. Let's see how the driver will compare.
Yeah, just let me get closer to the Milan car to see how the launch is, and then also have a look at their time. Yeah, green flag being waved. Oh, pretty good get off the line. Just a little bit hesitant, but very decent. 3.61. Not a perfect start, but still a very, very good time. So very impressive, and it's faster than their driverless.
Indeed, half a second faster. And we have Deggendorf lining up now. Their first go was a 3.828.
I think Milano can go a bit faster because I saw the driver correcting just a little bit. The car just pulled to one side, so he had to hesitate just a little, maybe 1/10 of a second. But I do think there's more in that car.
No, and of course, like we say, every 1/10 of a second you can save at the start will save you probably up to half a second at the end. As Deggendorf gets the green flag, sets off very tentatively, but accelerates smoothly throughout.
Yeah, again, you could actually see the car wiggle a little bit, just a little bit. So the driver had to make some corrections, but still 3.83 is very good.
It's insane consistency. It's only 1/1000th of a second slower than their first attempt.
Oh, you have the thousands as well on the living page. Oh, the timing page. Good.
Yeah, you have the special commentary page.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. We have some special more information. Yeah, and looking at the first meters of Deggendorf, it's a 0.77 over the 10 meters. If you compare that to the quickest time of Amberg Weiden so far, it's 0.70, so 700ths of a second difference. In the end, it's almost 3/10 of a second.
And we have Milan coming back over here. They do elect to go for their second run immediately. They'll just wait for the officials to wave them through. Here they go.
Yeah, pretty good launch though. Better than first time. Yeah, there we go. 3.55, don't you?
Yeah, and like we said, they saved 7/100ths of a second at the start, and that saved them almost a 10th in the end. So yeah, that puts them on a provisional pole, 2/100ths of a second faster than Amberg Weiden. But Amberg Weiden, of course, only had one run so far, so we'll see if they can improve when they return. And meanwhile, we have two Swiss vehicles in the queue. The car from Lausanne, number 127, and the car from AMZ, car number 33. And they were the fastest at the autonomous acceleration, weren't they, Mickey?
Yeah, definitely. Not by much in the end, but still, they were 700 of a second, something like that. Faster than anybody else, and very early indeed. When it was cold, tires were not up to temperature and so on. So, yeah, there's some confusion here about the teams. The rule is one person per team with the jack bar can go up to a special area here. The other team members have to stay behind, which makes sense. We have Lausanne coming up to the line, 127. Yeah, green flag for Lausanne. Oh, sorry, that didn't go well. Something happened with the car. It immediately turned off. Yeah. Well, definitely, no, not a good drive for them. Something happened. I'm not sure whether it was a safety issue. Car elected to go into neutral. I'm not sure if it's called that, but anyway, they are just barely moving under their own power. So it seems like the team is instructed to go collect the car and push it out of the way. Diego, can you look up what Lausanne did in the driverless? I'm pretty sure I saw them. I'm not too sure what they did in the end. So the car is driving again, but it's not really going fast.
No. Well, unfortunately, in the driverless, it was also not the fastest time. It was a 14.35. But again, like we say before, especially in the driverless category, setting any time is already a massive achievement. And the scoring is done a little bit differently there. The time matters a little bit less than it does in the manual events. But let's see how AMZ will compare. They had a 3.231 without a driver. That seems to be, near the limit of what a Formula Student car can do.
Yeah, this should be very interesting, whether they can do the same time or at least in the neighborhood. I would expect that it would be just a little bit slower than the driverless time, just due to the sheer weight of the driver. So let's make a guess, 3.4, something like that?
Yeah, I'd say around there.
Well, 3.49, not too bad.
We round down.
So maybe this is the difference between driverless and driver. Which is 50, 55 kilograms, something like that, I don't know.
And I mean, we did have a bit of a muted reaction relative to their driverless time, but that still is the fastest acceleration we've seen today. So very, very good job, Zurich.
Yeah, and 3.49, I mean, you can't complain about that, right? I mean, we've had years that nobody came in the neighborhood of that time, right? So,
no, indeed. I think we've been getting a little bit spoiled in recent years.
Yeah, just shows you how well they built this car and how well, it correlates to the weight with the driver and without. So yeah, impressive. There we have it. You can hear it from the grandstand as well. Already the cheering and clapping for University of Navarra, car number 29. Here we go. Good launch off the line. Accelerating, probably, yeah, 4.18.
.18 on their first run, so maybe if they can get their launch dialed in a little bit more, even though it was already pretty smooth, you think maybe they can be a bit more aggressive with it. They could also push into the sub 4 seconds. Zurich, meanwhile, thinks that provisional pole is enough for the moment. They elect not to do their second run immediately. And in the staging area now, we have 2 more cars. One is car number 79. Which is an other Spanish vehicle from the University of Barcelona, EEBE. And we have car number 326, I believe, if my eyes don't deceive me. But I believe they do, because I can't find that car in the technical inspection sheet. Mickey, maybe you have a bit of a better view what the number is on the top.
Yeah, and University of Navarra coming back to a second try. Car number 29. Already the sounds from the grandstand, you can hear them, so that's good. Some cheering going on. It was a 4.18, right?
Yes, indeed.
Last time. So let's hope they can actually beat that. No lack of enthusiasm, that's for sure.
So let's see, their 10-meter split was 0.82.
Yeah, the launch isn't too bad compared to the fastest ones. It's just the acceleration after that. So maybe the whole power limited thing. This is actually quite good. But now this part where they are now, this is where they lack power in comparison to the other teams.
Yeah, and unfortunately unable to improve. It was a 4.179 and now a 4.193. And there's the number that I couldn't make out. Number 320, the car from Porto. They also did the driverless acceleration, didn't they, Mickey?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I think they were one of the last ones to be able to do. I think they were indeed the last ones to complete the acceleration this morning. And yeah, they obviously elected to go without well, any developed aero package. They do have an undertray, so that will give them some kind of downforce. Actually, it's much more efficient than a wing, I've been told. And there we go, Porto. Very cleanly off the line. 4.38, very decent, very good time actually.
Yeah, decent start, accelerating very well throughout, all the way until the end.
Yeah, you could see the launch was not bad. I'm not sure if you can see the 10 meter time, but that was actually quite decent. But after that, you could see just the difference between the high power cars and some cars that lack a little bit of power.
Indeed, indeed. It was an 0.78 on the first 10 meters. And now we have one more car from Spain, car number 79, UPC EEBE Barcelona. Now, I would hazard a guess that the UPC stands for University Polytechnic Catalonia, but the EEBE, I have no idea. Now the staging area and the queue is really livening up. Now I see cars all the way until the end of the queue. Mickey, maybe you can take a bit of a look, see who's in there. I see Dresden and GFR in the staging area. Barcelona rolling up to the starting line.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just I'm going to do a little bit of check just after the car from car number 79. Let's see how they do and just get a closer look at the launch. I'm always interested in the launch, obviously, because that's a huge determining factor for the acceleration time.
Of course.
So
hopefully the speed with which they rolled up to the start line is not indicative of how fast they're on the acceleration. Maybe they're just trying to conserve as much power as possible.
Yeah, very, very consistent, let's say. 5.21, and just going to go to the queue. It seems like we have Dresden. Historically speaking, Dresden is one of the quickest cars on the acceleration. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, definitely the historic Dresden car that we have at the competition today. I think the 2018 entrant, they had a 3.5, 3.4 acceleration time, if I remember correctly. So it'll be interesting to see them in the historic acceleration later this afternoon.
Yeah, and this is their second drive already, right? So what did they do on the first time? Maybe we can compare that.
This is their first drive. So first attempt from Dresden, car number 59.
Oh, interesting. They were maybe in the wrong queue then, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, we have Ravensburg just behind them. Oregon State or Ravensburg, take your pick. And just UAS Lemgo just behind them, car number 153.
And the officials are just waiting for the final go. There's also a camera drone flying around now. And a very good launch by Dresden. It is a 3.4, new fastest time. Like you said, Mickey, always good at acceleration.
Yeah, they got it dialed down usually, so they do understand how that game is being played. So they're even faster than Zurich then. Well, impressive.
And I think maybe you think you've already seen them because you did see them already, but that was at the driverless acceleration, where unfortunately they had a DNF there. But now we have car number 75, Global Formula Racing, taking the start line.
Yeah, and some people are probably confused. They hear Global Formula Racing. What's that? It's a Ravensburg or Oregon State? What the hell? Actually, it's a historic cooperation between two schools or two universities across the globe. Very interesting, German and in the end a US team putting the resources together and building the car. Very successful as well.
Yeah, I think for a time when you could enter both combustion and electric vehicles into FSG, they had the American team building the combustion car and the German side building the electric car. Very violent launch.
Yeah, car pulls to the right. The driver had to catch the car. Well, good control, but it was very violent indeed. So launch control wasn't there yet, and we do see also a cone, which should a drone, a drone getting some nice pictures. That always does well in shots for PR and media.
And the Dresden car, like AMZ before them, satisfied with provisional pole for the moment. Maybe hoping that the track evolution will improve the conditions a little bit later on in the session. So we do expect to see them back and still expect to see some very fast times. Meanwhile, car number 227 from Bern, another Swiss competitor, taking the starting line.
They have a big N on the back side of the car. What's that for? I have no idea.
Yeah, I see some words starting with N written just under there.
Yeah, I'm just going to take a look. And now I'm curious to see what it is. I think that might be the name of the car. I'm not sure. It says Niera with an epsilon, a Y. Very clean start, a little bit of a wiggle, so it will affect their time. It's 3.85. You could just see the car going left and right just a little bit with the backside. Not much, but still it costs a little bit of time. Then we have 153 from Lemgo, UAS Lemgo. Very nice looking car. A lot of see-through components. They have no secrets for us.
No, and is the driver wearing pants, Mickey?
Yes, I can confirm he's wearing pants. I'm not sure what's underneath that, but the driver is. I'm not sure it's a he or she, we can't tell, obviously. But the driver is wearing pants. pretty good launch. A little bit of a wiggle to the left, to the right. Yeah, 4.73. But after that, you could just notice that the power was just not full. The launch wasn't that bad, besides the wiggle. And there we have Oregon State Global Formula Racing Ravensburg back, car number 75, electing to do the second run immediately.
Yeah, I think after that little, semi-off-track excursion, they decide to get a banker time on the board, get a clean run.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have any data that you collected, so no idea what you will change for the second run, right? So I think it's smart to do the second run immediately. A lot better. Still, a lot of control issues for the driver. Very, very aggressive car, I would say. 4.55. You could see the driver having a lot of difficulties keeping the car on track. Managed to do so. So actually, well done. But yeah, that was difficult.
Yeah, and once again, it was veering very close to the right-hand side of the track. So it seems to be some sort of systemic issue with the car.
Yeah, it looked very, very nervous. It's like putting your mouse on the highest sensitivity setting and then going all over the place and trying to catch it. That's something like that.
Of course, some drivers enjoy having that much control over their car, but I think in the acceleration, in the ideal case, all you have to do is smash the accelerator down to the fullest and not have to do anything else.
Yeah, just keep the steering wheel straight and not having to do anything else. Yeah, but only a slight imbalance with this kind of power and this kind of torque. It can be, upsetting. Very good launch of the car. Yeah, 3.81. Very good, very good. Sub-0 for sure.
Yeah, very consistent from Bern. Again, the 10-meter split is 0.75, but accelerating better throughout the rest of it and improving by 0.04.
Yeah, they didn't even do a burnout with the tires. Yeah, Lemgo also coming back for the second run. Electing to do the same as the other teams, going for the second run immediately after the first one.
Yeah, the team choosing to let him go again.
Yeah, very good launch. Accelerating, but not as much as we saw some other teams, but still very decent, 4.66.
Yeah, improving by 1/10.5, so definitely worth it to have gone again.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we have car number 63 from Trondheim.
Yeah, they were fast in the morning, close competitor to Zurich this morning, so this should be interesting. Another benchmark with what they did this morning. Can you tell the time?
Yeah, it was a 3.301.
Yeah, exactly. So very close to Zurich this morning.
So probably with the driver looking at a 3.5?
Yeah, who knows? 3.45, I would say.
A bit of a wiggle there at the start.
Oh, you were right. You were quite close, Yegor. 3.59. A little bit of wiggle, indeed. That would cost them maybe a couple of hundreds, maybe even 10. So if they can get that sorted, there's even more time to be found there.
Yeah, because they did have, this was the fourth fastest 10-meter split, 0.69. So definitely considering that little bit of discomfort there at the start, if they can iron that out, probably will be much, much closer to the pole times that we've seen so far. A lot of action back in the queue as well. And up next, we are hoping to see car number 19 from Braunschweig.
Yeah, and there is something wrong with the Trondheim. Is that the Trondheim? Yeah, I think that's a Trondheim car, right? That was the last one. It's standing still just before the curve of the track, on track. So, driver having a little bit of conversation with one of the officials there. Not sure what happened there, but they need to get it off the track so we can clear it for the next ones. Although there's no rush at the moment because the queue is not very full. There are some cars lining up. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 cars in queue, but none of them are like ready to go or being very hasty at all. So there we have some time to wait for the Trondheim car to be cleared.
Yeah, the Trondheim car is still on the track. The teammates with the push bar have now been delivered to the end of the straight as well. And we see the Trondheim car is now being pushed to clear the track. So in the next few minutes, we should have a continuation of the action. Mickey, can you give us an update on who has joined the queue in the meanwhile?
Yeah, I'll just do that. Yeah, we already see TU Braunschweig getting ready. They're the close and personal. And then we have car number 30 in the line just behind them. I'm not sure whether we have seen them this morning. I'm betting we didn't see them. University of Krakow. So that should be interesting as well. And then just behind them we have Ravensburg Weingarten team E60.
So we have car number 30, car number 60. Is the next one car number 90?
No, so first we have, of course, numbers 19, then 30, E60. So I'm not sure if E is the designation for, well, it's just E60, I don't know. And then we have numbers 36 and then 171. I don't see 90 anywhere.
Yeah, 90, of course, was the car from Milano, and we already saw both of their runs.
Yeah, exactly. That's correct. So we have, yeah, just behind Weingarten, we have Chemnitz, so car number 36. Just behind them, KTH Stockholm, car number 171.
Yeah, Chemnitz is the one that looked very impressive yesterday at the Crazy 20 event. So let's see if they'll be just as entertaining here at the acceleration.
Weren't they doing the donuts?
No, I think that was the University Siegen.
Siegen, yeah, that's correct. You're right.
Chemnitz, I think, were the ones that power slid off track a few times and broke a few lights. You could hear some plastic scraping along the track. But I think they definitely got a high entertainment score from the jury yesterday. I think I saw car number 124 rolling into the queue at Tallinn. Also one of the teams that in recent years has been steadily improving and reaching the very top of the performance that you can get from these former student vehicles. The Revolve car has now been cleared. The track is good for continuing the competition, and Braunschweig is now rolling up to the starting line. But we were saying, Mickey, on average 45 seconds for one car to do a run, but then something like this happens, which could happen, unfortunately, at any point. And then there's a delay that cascades all throughout the queue.
Yeah, definitely. This is what we saw this morning as well. Right towards the end, one of the cars hit the cone high speed, had some wing damage, had some carbon fiber on the track, which had to be cleared, which took a couple of minutes extra. So
Braunschweig now sets off very gently, no wheel spin. And either running up against some sort of power limiter or the power shutting off completely. They crossed the line very, very slowly in the end, but they did get there. And it was a time of 7.306.
yeah, a couple of more cars have joined the queue. You were right about Tallinn. 124 is in the queue. Just behind them is 242 from Darmstadt. And also car number 7 from Lisbon. And let me see, WHB Stuttgart as well. And in the second run we have Porto, so the other Portuguese team. Yeah, so it's getting a bit more busy.
Yeah, getting a bit more busy, and unfortunately Braunschweig, just like Revolve before them, also running into some technical difficulties after crossing the finish line, having now to be retrieved by the team members. So again, a word of warning for all the teams that have not shown up yet. You never know when a delay might happen. You never know how the situation is going to develop. So if you want to be sure that you're going to get at least one good run in, you better come as soon as possible.
Yeah, don't count on the last half hour. A lot of things can happen. And there are no guarantees in the last half hour. It's a big gamble, isn't it? We see it every year. And every year there are teams disappointed that they are not allowed to compete. Again, this is very strict. It's 4:30. I can imagine it's going to be the cutoff time. Why? Because we have directly after that we have 2 parallel events. And of course, without commentary team, there are no events. So Will leave this event to do the parallel events for the well, not leave, because we are probably stay here, one of our commentary teams. But still, cutoff time is quite strict here.
Yeah, and that's of course an ever-present FSG phenomenon that some teams arrive at the very last second, hoping to get in a run. I think the most interesting case of that Monty and I saw yesterday at the driverless on the driverless skid pad, that for the entire last half hour, no teams were present, and then in the last maybe 30 seconds before the event closed, one more team desperately tried to get an attempt in. I think it was car number 69 from Mannheim. So it seems that it would not be FSG without having some of those teams show up at the last second. But well on time right now is car number 60 from Weingarten. Getting placed in the exact spot for the timing beacon by the marshal. And off the launch, a lot of wheel spin off the line, but accelerating nicely through the rest of it, and is a 3.53.
Wow, that's pretty good as well. But still not in the, well, not really faster than the time of this morning. So, but we're getting close.
Well, we're getting there. Dresden is the closest so far with a 3.40 on their first run.
Yeah, still well, almost 0.2 of a second difference. I'm not sure whether the Zurich team, well, the time of the Zurich team will be beaten today, this morning. I'm pretty, well, it's a very good time, very difficult to beat.
It is. And I think already in the past year or two, we have seen that the fastest driverless time for the acceleration was the overall fastest time for the acceleration.
Which theoretically is the case, right? So.
Indeed, I think
Yep.
I don't want to call it simple, but the relative simplicity of going straight in a straight line as opposed to having to do a lot of turns makes it a little bit easier to optimize the driverless algorithm, I imagine. So that's where
well, don't tell the teams that saw the car going left or right like crazy, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's still
no. Of course, none of it is easy. Only
it's relative.
Exactly, only relatively potentially simpler than doing a full endurance track drive.
Yeah, definitely. But still, yeah, every time we see that, and every time we see the anxiety on the faces of the teams, even for a simple acceleration, is always nice to see from our side. Why? Because we are not in their shoes, so we can actually enjoy that as much as they don't. But we still like to see it, and sometimes a bit of drama doesn't hurt.
Now we have car number 320, University of Porto, returning for their second run. It was a 4.376 on their first attempt, with a finishing speed of 96.1 kilometers per hour. Let's see what they do on their second attempt.
Yeah, and I see Weingarten also just coming back. in the slow zone going to post Scuti. And yeah, Porto is off the line. Cautious launch, but afterwards the acceleration is not too bad. 4.45.
Unfortunately not able to improve, about a tenth slower than their first run.
Yeah, I think that the launch was just a little bit hesitant. I mean, the acceleration after that wasn't bad, but already at the launch they lost a lot of time compared to the fastest cars. But anyway, decent points for them. So 2 runs finished, well done. Chemnitz, car number 36 at the line.
And I think we'll have to ask the team members later what that quote means. Do you want to build a sailing boat?
Yeah, we have Chemnitz. Well, let's say some wheel spin. Marshall is just inhaling some burnt rubber. Well, if there will be a style award for most, let's say, most wheel spin off the line, I think they will be up the top.
Yeah, I think they heard us talking about the burnout that Ziegen did yesterday, and they wanted to show that they're no worse at it if they want to be. Not sure if they want to be for this particular event.
Well, now I'm curious whether that's on purpose or not, to put a lot of heat in the tires. I mean, I can imagine that thinking that it would put a lot of heat in it. Hopefully, well, let's hope that they have the tire temperature still present when they are back for the second run. But maybe that was on purpose, who knows?
Yeah, indeed, as Talon now lines up.
Yeah, very good launch. Also, look at the acceleration. Whoa, very good. 3.58. You could definitely see a little bit of wiggle, but very tight, very small wiggle. And then the acceleration after that was just impressive. Now, 171 KTH Stockholm. They were here this morning as well. I'm not sure what kind of time they did on the autonomous version.
I am not finding them in the autonomous time, so I'm not sure what they actually did run.
They did, because I remember the safety car sign on the wing, and also know the story because I asked the team what the story is behind the safety car. I'll just tell that story again for our listeners, but just wait for them to start the acceleration. Not sure what's going on there.
I think meanwhile the driver from Chemnitz did elect to immediately go for their second run.
Yeah, they have a bit of a bad luck because the Stockholm car is just waiting to be pushed away. Anyway, the safety car sign that we can all see, even I think they can see it from Karlsruhe here. The safety car sign on the back is a reference to their Formula Student Austria, where they competed and they had an overheating issue during endurance. So they had to drive really slowly, bunching all the other cars up behind them and setting the pace like a safety car. So that's why they put the safety car sign on their wing.
Yeah, see the team member with the push bar has come to the car, but are now being signaled away from it. And we hear the tractive system sound activation. The car is now moving. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a queue forming here for the second run as well. Talon lining up behind Chemnitz.
Yeah, and just looking at the Marshall. Yeah, track is clear. Green flag. Good launch. No wiggle at all. Also a bit hesitant in the acceleration afterwards. So 4.18 for the safety car.
Well, let's see if they have set the pace for everybody who is coming after them, everybody who is waiting in the queue.
Yeah, now I'm curious to see whether Chemnitz will do exactly the same type of launch, or maybe they have some launch control, traction control off the line. Well, the difference will be noticeable for sure.
Yeah, it was a 5.08 on the first run.
Nope, that's the same setting.
Yeah, if anything, even more of a burnout this time.
Yeah, no, I think the first one was even more. And I think the time shows as well.
Yeah, indeed, they do improve. They do improve by 0.2 of a second. And now we have Talon rolling up for their second run immediately as well.
Yeah, who needs launch control, right? This is a lot more fun.
The green flag is waved for Talon. Fantastic launch.
Yeah, really good. 3.54, very good time. Still 2/10 away, 3/10 away from the morning time from Zurich, but very good, very good.
And now we have car number 7, University of Lisbon. And Mickey, was this the team that caused a little bit of a kerfuffle here during the driverless acceleration, or was that someone else?
Yeah, I think it was someone else. Hard to remember, to be honest. But I think it was, if you look at the timing page, it was the second to last car this morning that had the damage. So,
well, Lisbon, they had a 3.75 on their driverless acceleration. Let's see how this will compare. Very good launch, good acceleration throughout as well.
Yeah, 3.88, very good.
Yeah,
compared
very
to
good.
the 3.75, you said?
3.75, so
Yeah.
a little bit slower.
Yeah. So the driver only adds 1/10 in this case.
And now we have car number 242.
Well, guess who's back? It says on the wing. So, yeah, I'm not sure whether we have seen them this morning. Probably not.
No, not yet.
No. So
Oh, well, no, in the morning,
this is new.
Yeah, in the morning I'm not sure, but this is their first run on the manual acceleration.
A little bit of hesitation after the first 5 meters. And just a little bit of hesitation. Not much, but still 4.05, just above the 4-second threshold. And the Stuttgart car is back again, saying unterschätzt das mal nicht, meaning don't underestimate this.
Yeah, they had a 7.208 on their driverless acceleration, and this is their first manual run.
Yeah, we still have to wait a little bit because the previous car has stopped on track. Some cars do like to stop on tracks for some reason, I don't know why. But we can see the marshals talking to the driver and probably getting on the radio to collect the push bar guy. Yeah, so the golf cart is off to bring the push bar guy to the car and clear the track. Before that's done, the cars will not be allowed to do the acceleration for obvious reasons.
Indeed, and meanwhile, it is really picking up here in the pre-run and post-run areas. I see around 9 cars in the post-inspection. I see 4 cars in the staging area. And I think at least 3, 4, or 5 in the queue. So it's about to be very much non-stop action, I think, all the way through to the end.
Yeah, some more cars coming up to the queue. While we wait for the previous car to be cleared, just going to walk around a little bit, looking at 313 TU Berlin, also a very nice, clean-looking car. Just behind them, we have car number 76, the other room, Karlsruhe. Well, this is nice because they're just next to University of Lehra. This is also have a black and yellow livery. Almost very difficult to distinguish them from a distance. The black and yellow is quite popular these days, usually, so we can see. And just behind that, but it's a bit more distance, I can count about 8 cars also lining up, doing the final checks. Yeah, and Lisbon has been cleared off the track, Yegor, so we will see the Stuttgart car competing.
You're right, Lisbon has been cleared off the track, but that was under their own power before. And the one getting cleared by manpower is Darmstadt.
Ah, that was Darmstadt, sorry.
Very good launch from DABW Stuttgart. And it is a 3.50. Also one of the fastest cars in recent years. So really, I think, three-way, four-way, maybe even five-way battle in those sub 3.5 second times.
Yeah, you want to be around 3.5, 3.4 seconds to be able to compete for the top spot, right? So that's the most amount of points that you will get if you are in that range. You will get a lot of points. It doesn't matter whether you're ranked 3rd or 15th, as long as the time difference is not that big.
And let's see the Berlin car. And there's that beehive whine. It is a 4.68.
Yeah, we could see the driver opening DRS about halfway through. So that would give them a little bit of a boost or less drag. So next up, car number 84 from Hanover. It's my first time Be Gentle. I'm not sure why that's on the car. So maybe it's the first acceleration. Yeah, it's on the car, Yegor, sorry. I failed to mention that. So this is why you fill out the commentary form. So we know why it says that on the rear wing. It is a gentle getaway.
Took the words out of my mouth, Mickey.
Yeah, exactly.
And coming to a stop very gently in the end as well.
For the first time.
Indeed. And it was a 6.290. And now I see Karlsruhe, car number 76, approaching the starting line for their second attempt. Their first was a 9.582. Of course, they had that little struggle with breaking the timing beacon before the green flag was waved.
Yeah, the car had a mind of its own back then, probably. Let's see, Karlsruhe.
Well, no, the car with a mind of its own was in the morning session.
Yeah, but it looked like that. But quick getaway, though. Yeah, very nice. 3.57. Yeah, well, impressive. Yeah. Very good.
Maybe they could have improved a little bit more if they had two full runs.
Yeah, but still a decent time compared to the quickest one so far. So
absolutely.
That's a bunch of points in the pocket.
And now DABW electing to go for their second run immediately. Let's see if they can improve on their 3.505.
Yeah, we should never underestimate this team. They do have a prancing horse on the side of the car logo. I'm not sure whether that's a good sign or not.
I think that's, I'm not sure if that's Porsche related or Stuttgart related.
Oh, something definitely didn't go according to plan.
Not prancing very much.
No.
Commentator curse strikes yet again.
Sorry. Sometimes it happens. We have some magical power sometimes, Yegor. We can't help it.
Yeah, we can't control it. That's the worst part. Berlin, Fast Tube also electing to go for their second run immediately after the first.
Also see-through walls on the side. So also in this case I can confirm the driver is wearing pants.
Pants confirmed. And listen, you can hear the camera drone. Listen to the car, it will sound very, very similar.
Yeah, track seems to, yeah, the track is clear. So Berlin, Fahrstube getting the go-ahead in a couple of seconds, I imagine. Yeah, there we go. Green light off again. DRS open. bit of a slow start, so that will hurt them in the time for sure. The launch could have been a little bit better. I'm not sure, but it seemed a little bit hesitant. But in the end, not a very bad time at 4.53.
No,
Decent points. So
yeah, they did improve.
Can't complain, right?
Yeah, 4.68 in the first run, improving by a tenth and a half.
So we have the other car, University of Leiria. Now we have 3 similar cars to confuse us, Diego, which is we're easily confused, but this is a bit too much for us.
No, indeed, and I believe there's actually a 4th black and yellow car somewhere around the competition site as well. So during endurance, we'll definitely have our hands full with it. Good launch by Leiria. 4.686.
And I'm not sure if I saw something flying off the car or not, or that was something else, maybe a piece of paper, but I can definitely see something. Yeah, I think it's a big piece of paper, so no worries there. And there we have car number E51, Ghent University, designed for speed, tested in panic.
So the official's just waiting for something to give the green flag.
Yeah, I think the previous car just stalled just beyond our visual range, just in the corner. But they need to clear it anyway, because the cars have to drive back under their own power. And if that lane is blocked, then they have an issue. So I think that's why they are bringing the car with the push bar, just to clear it.
Yeah, it must be, because I do see the DABW Stuttgart car driving back. But not Berlin behind them.
Yeah, it was going quite slowly all the way through, so very hesitant, maybe on limp home mode. We don't know, we're just speculating here, right? So nothing of what we say is official, obviously. We're just waiting for the track to be cleared. Let me take a look at the queue again, because it's getting busier and busier. We see some overtaking action in the queue as well. So maybe there's more happening on in the queue than on track, which is quite interesting. Yeah, now we see I see at least 12 cars now in the queue, or almost in the queue. So as we predicted, the bottom half of the event is getting busier and busier.
Yeah, and I think I might have spoken a bit too soon on the DABW car. They are in fact stuck in the return lane, green T-cell.
Whoops, that's never a good. I think now I'm not sure what the golf cart is doing. I think they brought the Jackman for Berlin, but maybe they have to do the same for the Stuttgart car. Ghent is off, bit hesitant, but accelerating. Yeah, completing.
Also a very gentle beginning. And it was a 4.823 on the first run for Ghent. And now car number 253 lining up on the starting line. And that is the University of Kiel. And I'm not sure if the marshals have set up a bit of a diversion in the return lane, but I do see the cars are now being pushed back. There is motion in the lane. So
yeah, probably they had some detour or whatever, because they are sending the next one. Whoa, no,
we can see it. Massive spin by Kiel. Yeah.
Oh, that was, I mean, spectacular, but really happy. Not a big crash. Obviously, the driver must be frightened and scared, but actually, this car is still driving. Well, that's impressive, for sure.
Thankfully, they don't have a transparent chassis.
No, so at this time I can imagine you're happy that nobody can see what's happening inside the monocoque.
No, indeed.
Yeah, that was weird, because it went well for the 90% of the acceleration, and just at the end, driver lost control for whatever reason, we don't know. These cars can have some torque differences between left and right, which can make it very, very aggressive. With the steering input, so we don't know, but lucky.
I'm not sure if it might have happened under braking, because they did set a very fast time, 3.549, So it
that,
could have
that
been.
could be also one of the issues. If you hit the brakes really hard, which is not really necessary here, you have a lot of runoff. But if you press the brake really hard and there is difference, yeah, then you can easily lose control of the car and spin out. Luckily, no harm. Car is still drivable, so well, lucky there.
Yes, most importantly, no harm to the driver. Secondly, no harm to the car. And thirdly, no harm to the timing equipment.
Exactly.
So everyone's happy.
Yeah. We say happy timekeepers, happy life.
Liera now coming back for their second attempt. 4.686 on run number 1. And let's see if they can improve. Setting off immediately as the green flag is waved. Very gentle and seeming to run up against some sort of power limit in the back half. But they do manage to improve to a 4.654.
Yeah, let's not forget some teams don't have that much power on board, so maybe this is the maximum. Maybe that's not even a limiter or whatever. It's also a choice, right? So to how much motors, how much battery power you have. We don't know. Anyway, the queue is full, almost full. Let's say there's a couple of pretty decent teams coming up. I see Ingolstadt, Leibniz, Hanover. Yeah, some very interesting teams coming up.
Yeah, I think I saw Delft somewhere in the back there as well. But for now, we have 149 from Erlangen on the start line.
Something cut out just after 20 meters. And then again, so something with the controls, because the car went to the right violently a little bit. So that's something with the controllers. It went and then it stopped and it went again.
Yeah, it was good by the driver to catch it. Maybe it was the motor cutting out on the right side.
Yeah, you see that a lot. These independent motors. If one of them cuts out, then automatically the car goes to one side, and the driver has to have quick reactions to catch it. So, well done.
And now we have car number 101. A very good start.
Yeah, the start made the difference. 3.79. Even though the second part of the acceleration wasn't as quick as the quickest start, the start was really impressive. Not sure we can see the start times, the first 10 meters, what that was. It looked visually quite quick.
Yeah, it was a 0.71 first 10 meters. So that's up there.
Yeah, exactly. That's up there
top,
with the
top
fast
of the range.
One. Yeah, definitely.
And who do we have now with Schanze Power?
Ingolstadt. Bit of a wiggle after the start. And then looks like losing some power and acceleration towards the end. Car just rolling to a stop, as it seems. Yeah, definitely. So there's something definitely going on with the Ingolstadt car. In the meantime, Uni Erlangen is back for the second drive.
And Hanover right behind them, also getting in the queue for the second run.
It looks like they will have to have some patience because Ingolstadt is still on track and has not been cleared by the marshals yet. I do see the car has restarted again under its own power, so that's good because it can drive off without having the need for a push bar. So that means Erlangen can go for a second run.
And the time from the Ingolstadt car was a 6.003. So even considering the power out, well, especially considering the power cut apparent, that is a pretty good time. And Erlangen improves considerably to a 4.361. And the marshals now allowing car number 101 from Hanover to re-enter the track. 3.791 on their first attempt. So already a very good time. Let's see if they can improve. Good launch one more time. Not quite able to improve, but still a good time with a 3.82.
Yeah, every time below 4 seconds, as we mentioned earlier, is considered a very good time. Yeah, of course, the closer you get to the 3.5, the better it is, but everything below 4 is just excellent.
And now we have car number 62 lining up. Regensburg.
Yeah, closely followed by the drone. There should be some spectacular image. And this is really nice. It's going to be a drag race between the drone and the car. I'm pretty sure the car will win, especially on the first meters. Oh yeah, well, it's a close competition.
Yeah, the drone keeping up nicely.
Yeah, that's not too bad, actually.
It is a 5.85 for Regensburg. And now, arguably the best British team at FSG, University of Bath, is taking the starting line.
Yeah, one of the few British teams here, I would say, Yegor. I haven't seen a lot of other British teams, right? So, decent launch. Not too bad.
Well,
I can't see the time from here, but...
It is a 4.31. You could hear it keep accelerating nicely throughout, all the way to the finish line. So maybe they'll still be able to improve even a little bit on their launch. But now we have E-Force Prague, car number 42.
Yeah, the very confusing livery car, because on my side it was blue, and on your side, Yegor, it was?
Red.
Yeah, there we go.
You can see the flap opening on the rear wing and now closing again.
Probably just checking. Yeah, it's opening again. Whether it works. It's probably a manual thing. Oh, very good.
Yeah, decent launch, good acceleration, 3.816.
It didn't even look fast, but it was, actually.
Indeed. As Regensburg comes back for their second run. Just over 1 hour left in the manual acceleration event. Like we said, the time is going to fly by very quickly. We've seen maybe around 30 teams, 35. So I think that's about half of what is present and through scrutineering. Regensburg, meanwhile, very gentle start, accelerating nicely until the end. No drama, no wheel spin.
Well, you can see here under braking the nervousness of the car again. As you see, some teams have that. You could see the moment the driver touched the brake pedal, the car started to wiggle a little bit. So that should be interesting for autocross later on, because you need a steady car under braking. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to control it.
At the very least, for now, they did manage to improve by nearly 1.5 seconds to 4.5.
Yeah, that's a lot, actually. So that's very good.
Now let's see how much Barcelona can improve on their second attempt, car number 79. They improved by just under 0.02 of a second, from a 5.21 to a 5.19.
Yeah, and then we have CTU Prague, having done the final checks.
Yeah,
on
they had a 3.6 in the autonomous acceleration, and 3.8 for now in the manual one. So let's see what's going to happen here. Prague gets the green flag and sets off. Very quick off the line. 3.779. So improving on their first time, but not beating their autonomous time.
No, I just got approached by one of the the head scrutineer, Kevin.
Yeah, one of the
we
Kevins.
have we have a short announcement. Please, everybody, do not stand on the wall, the pit wall. As long as you do that, it's considered unsafe, and the track will not be given clear for the drivers. So please do not stand on the wall. You can lean on it, you can look on it, whatever. But if you are standing, that's considered unsafe. So thank you.
Meanwhile, car number 85 from Delft launching off the line with a 3.481. So good first time from Delft. Let's see if they'll be able to improve in their second attempt as Chalmers, car number 95, approaches the starting line. They had a 3.670 on their first run. Let's see, the track now is a little bit warmer, a little bit more rubbered in. Let's see if they can get a better launch and a better time.
Wow, good launch. Yeah, you could see immediately after 10 meters, you could see this will be a good time, 3.59.
Yeah, they do improve by nearly a tenth.
Yeah, you could see actually the backside bogged down a little bit, but it was a good time. Now we have Munich, car number 31. A lot of aerodynamics on the car, so not necessarily an advantage on the acceleration, but we'll have to find out how well they can do with the car compared to the cars with less aerodynamics. I'm not sure whether they will open the DRS. We'll keep that in our we'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, car 85 is electing not to go for a second run immediately, and taking the detour.
Indeed, maybe the team will hope to analyze the data, see if they can maybe tune up the power a little bit or whatnot.
Yeah, Munich off the line, a little bit of a wiggle.
A little bit of a wiggle. It felt like it slowed down just a little bit at the end there.
Yeah, but the time is 3.48. Did I see that correctly?
It is identical to Delft, 3.481.
That's very good indeed already. So we have a proper battle going on for the top spots here, right? Because they're only 800 of a second of a fastest time.
Yeah, something like that.
Of the manual acceleration.
Of the AMZ, yes. But also interesting, they have the exact same time, Munich and Delft. But the top speed at the end, Delft had 117 kilometers per hour and Munich had 101.
So that means the first 10 meters must be a difference as well. If I'm not sure we can compare that.
Yes, we can. Delft had a first 10 meters of 0.64 and Munich 0.55.
So Munich actually had a better launch, but they lost that advantage in the rest of the acceleration. That's interesting.
Indeed. And while we were talking, car number 16 set a first run of 5.06, and I see they have unfortunately stopped just past the finish line, but they are able to get going again. That is, of course, good to see. As car number 131, UAS Munich, lines up for their first attempt. Do you think, is 31 somehow relevant to Munich, that TU Fast is number 31 and UAS Munich is 131?
I have no idea, to be honest. I'm not sure whether it's a symbolic number for Munich or whatever. I know the 31 is the land, area code or land code for Netherlands, so that shouldn't be it. I'm not sure, maybe it's like an area code for Munich within Germany. I have no idea. But pretty good off the line though, 3.9, pretty good. Not bad actually, and we have Munich back for the second run, so they electing to do a different strategy from Delft. It's too bad because we wanted to see a proper head-to-head battle, but anyway, we're not complaining because these are really fast cars.
Yeah, let's see if they can beat their 3.481.
Yeah, I'm just going to watch the launch here because That's very interesting. That how different the launch is between Munich and the Delft car, but still in the end it's exactly the same time. So I'm just going to watch whether it's the driver or the launch control. Yeah, it's exactly the same as the previous one. Very quick off the line. 3.5, so it's a bit slower, right?
It's interesting. It is a faster 10-meter split, 0.53 as opposed to 0.55, and both of those are the two fastest we've seen today. But the final time, indeed, the first run was a 3.481, and this was a 3.495, and a little bit slower at the finish line as well.
Yeah, that's it's very fine margins, isn't it? Maybe a little bit of a headwind or whatever. We don't know, but it's very, very close. Next up, car number 22 from Leuven, from Belgium. Car is ready.
Yeah, this is their second attempt.
Yep.
The first run was a 3.88.
Yeah, so well below the 4 seconds. Launch is pretty decent, and then accelerating all the way through. Exactly the same time, 3.88.
Yeah, it's just 0.02 of a second slower. So maybe, like you say, Mickey, indeed, a bit more of a headwind, and that makes all the difference.
Yeah, consistency is, I mean, Leuven at least is very consistent, right? 0.02 of a second between two different runs. That's impressive.
And UAS Munich, the other Munich team, they had a 3.900 on their first attempt.
Well, very decent launch. Just after that, a little bit of lack of acceleration, but still a very decent time, 4.04. Just above the magical 4 second mark.
Yeah, unfortunately unable to improve, but their first time was already below the 4 seconds, so I'm sure they'll be relatively happy with it overall.
Yeah, and then it's obviously a decent amount of points for everything below the 4 seconds is decent amount. And you need that if you want to compete for the top spots in this competition. You need to score heavily on every single event.
And we see the queue now thinning out just ever so slightly. There are 6 cars waiting, 2 for their first run and 4 for their second run.
Another one of the fast teams, Esslingen. Oh, good launch, I told you. 3.44. We're getting there. Yeah, you could immediately see it. We know them, obviously. They know how this game works. So with the acceleration, they usually come up with a very good fast car as well. So very impressive time. Was that the first run, Yegor? Did you get that? I think
yes,
so.
Yes, indeed. That was the first attempt. So maybe some improvement yet to come.
It should be interesting to see the difference between the teams that elect to go out of the queue, do some setup changes, and then come back, what the difference is, and compared to the teams that do 2 runs after each other.
Well, Darmstadt is one of those teams that left and now came back.
Will it be an improvement, 3.92?
It is. It is. They improve by
there you go.
1.5 tenths
from
4.055.
So maybe a very cautious conclusion that setup changes and looking at the data and analyzing it and making some changes to the car might actually be worth it.
I mean, it's always a little bit of a gamble, right? One acceleration run is not that much data to base your decisions off of. So maybe it's a question of, okay, it is safe enough to tune the power up just that little bit higher, or make that traction control a little bit more aggressive or less aggressive. But I wouldn't imagine they make any massive setup changes between the 2 runs.
No, but if you don't make the setup changes, you probably will end up more or less in the same neighborhood of your first time, right? Because unless something went wrong on the first try, obviously. But if you have a very decent, steady acceleration the first time, nothing went wrong, then the second one will not be that much faster usually.
Yeah, now we have car number 13, I believe, from Sion.
You were right. We have a lot of teams from Switzerland as well, right? So. It's of course Hesso Valais Wallis.
And while we wait for them to get the green flag, in the queue we have also 279 from Pforzheim, 59 from Dresden, 99 from Aachen, and UAS Konstanz, car number 43.
Yeah, I like the one with the shark teeth. Really aggressive livery. That's really cool. Car number 43, right? Yeah. Really nice Konstanz.
And looking at the finish line, the car there that had stalled does seem to be to have gotten going under its own power again. Good to see. So Wallis should be getting the green flag any second now.
Car number 13 getting the green flag. A lot of wheel spin. Where did we see this before?
Similar to Chemnitz.
Yeah, exactly. A little bit of a burnout. But that's okay. 5.7. It wasn't fastest. They lost a lot of time, obviously, at the launch. A little bit of wheel spin is not a big issue, but if you have a lot of it, then you have to go back on the throttle and you will lose so much momentum.
No, indeed.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it was over a second for the first 10 meters.
That already lose 3-4 tenths of a second on the first 10 meters, and then that obviously accumulates to a lot of time lost towards the end.
Pforzheim now ready for their second attempt. It was a 3.702 on the first run, already very good. A little bit of wheel spin off the line. And they maybe because of that, they're not quite able to improve. A 3.82.
So that's compared to the first run. What was that?
3.7. So
0.7,
over a tenth slower.
Maybe that's the difference indeed. Maybe a little bit too aggressive on the launch control, and then you can obviously you can make changes that will make the car better. But sometimes you gamble the wrong way, and then you make the car slower. But anyway. That's a luxury you have if you have a decent first run. So
yeah, it could also be that you already aced the first run, and then any changes you make are not going to improve on it.
Yeah, exactly. But you can try, and that's what the second run is for, right? So.
Well, Konstanz now going for their first run.
Yeah, I'm seeing the golf cart taking one of the Czech persons to the back straight. Probably one of the cars has stalled. Not sure if you can see it from here, Yegor.
No, I think it's pretty much right behind the pit wall. They're not in the return lane.
Yeah, strategically placed so we can't see them. But we know from certain signs that there's something wrong, because otherwise the golf cart would not be going there in a hurry.
No, indeed. And that would have been the team from... I'm not sure, actually, because here on the timing board, the last run is from Sion, but I see them standing right here in front of us. The second run of Pforzheim, I believe that's who it was.
Yeah, that could be. I have the memory of a goldfish, so I can't be very certain about that.
What? Okay, the golf cart is making its way back.
Yeah, until the cart is back, the track will not be given clear. So teams here, Dresden was really quick in the first run, right? So
yeah, Dresden were very quick.
Yeah.
Aachen was very quick. In fact, the quickest in the manual skid pad event this morning.
They seem to have built a very quick car this year as well, with a lot of aerodynamics. Should be very interesting to see what they can do on acceleration. We know from history is that having a lot of wings and downforce, not necessarily a good thing for the acceleration. But if you can really nail both acceleration and skid pad, and also do well on dynamic turns in the autocross, then you have a very quick competitive car.
So basically, you're saying is if you're fast everywhere, you have a quick car.
Yeah, actually, yeah. But it's getting it right in everything, right? But this was
of course.
a 393.
Yeah, Konstanz
from
3.93. Finishing speed of 85.9, so not quite as high as we've seen today.
No, definitely. But still, probably the first couple of meters were quick. So
yeah, sub 4 seconds overall.
Very good
time.
Yeah.
Let's see what Sion can do on their second attempt. While we wait for the green flag, also in the queue, we mentioned Dresden and Aachen. We also see Lisbon coming for their second run, Hamburg for their first, TU Eindhoven also for their second attempt, I believe, and TU Delft not too far behind as Sion sets off on their second run. Not a lot of drama, very smooth acceleration throughout, and they do improve to a 5.604. Better launch. Slightly less acceleration throughout, but the better launch outweighed the slower finish.
Yeah, exactly. Dresden coming up next, car number 59. Will they be able to beat their time?
Well, they have the purple time on the board right now, 3.403. So let's see if the changes they made are going to pay off.
Will they remain there, or will they maybe even improve a little bit?
Constance, meanwhile, returning to the second run immediately. Green flag is waved.
Oh, very good launch. Same as previous one. 3.42.
3.42.
Purple?
I think it's the second fastest time, only behind themselves, but unfortunately not able to improve.
I'm pretty sure they made some changes on the car in between, but there you go. Even some changes doesn't have to mean that you are faster. Maybe you are faster in different areas. Maybe you are faster in the beginning, but losing it a little bit later on, or the other way around. We don't know. For that, we should see the data, which is always interesting, though. But unfortunately, we have a lot of access, but we don't have access to the data of the teams yet.
Just yet. But the commentary form is available for anybody who would like to share. As car number 43 goes on their second attempt, no changes, straight for their second run. And also, unfortunately, unable to improve, 1/10 slower. The launch was a little bit slower, but the acceleration throughout was better, 89.1 as opposed to 85.9.
Yeah, the driver was given some pointers by one of the team members. I could hear them saying, okay, put this one on value 4 instead of 2. And so the driver actually made some changes on the car. But alas, with no improvement. And here we have Aachen, Bittekein DQ. Well, let's hope there will be no disqualification for them. So they were the skid pad winners, unofficially yet, of this morning. So let's see. Decent launch, very good launch indeed. Accelerating all the way through, 3.48, not bad.
Yeah, already only 800ths off of the purple time from Dresden. So let's see if they'll be able to improve as Lisbon comes for their second run.
Yeah, just looking at from points point of view, I mean, that's maximum points on skid pad and nearly maximum points on acceleration. So yeah, doing very well on the leaderboard, I imagine. So I'm not sure whether they will in presentation finals or any other static event finals, but I'm pretty sure they will be up there on the dynamic page.
No, definitely one of the preliminary frontrunners, I would say. As Lisbon now lines up for run number 2, they had a 3.876 on their first attempt. And improving by a little bit to 3.84.
Yeah, consistent and quick. That's how you gain points.
One of the new runners now coming up, car number 78 from Hamburg.
Yeah, and we have less than an hour left in this acceleration event. Hamburg a little bit slow off the line, and imagine they lost them some time there. So 3.95, You could see actually the car was rolling just a little bit before the actual power came on. So that would have cost them some time, but maybe they can improve on the second run, should they elect to do that. TU Eindhoven coming up, car number 40.
Yeah, this is their first attempt. Let's see, maybe a little inter-Dutch rivalry here going on as well. Eindhoven and Delft coming for their second run just behind them. Let's see how Eindhoven does. They looked very good on the skidpad track earlier.
Not bad, 3.53.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Couldn't see anything wrong with that. Very, just a hint of a wiggle, but very, very minimum. So that explains the time. 3.53 is excellent.
Indeed.
Very good.
Is that a combustion car approaching the line?
Yeah, it sounds like a combustion car. Now this is an inside joke. Usually they make a lot of noise, but this is actually just an electric car, obviously. Very nice looking car from Vienna. Car number 141 with the M logos on the back.
Yeah,
M41.
I keep confusing it for the Dresden car, with the black and orange color combo with the BMW logo.
Yeah, and also some similarities with the Munich car as well.
Yes, indeed.
So, driver is just taking the time. Whoa! What a good launch there! What a good launch! 3.57. The launch that was absolutely nailed it. It's just the part after that they lost probably to the Aachen car and the fastest car. Aachen, second run immediately after the first one. Should be interesting.
Yeah, 3.481 of themselves to beat, 3.40 of Dresden to beat.
3.481 you say?
Yes, 3.481 on their first run and 3.40 purple time at the moment.
Let's see what bit of a heat in the tires does. I'm not sure how much difference that will make, but we'll see soon enough. A little bit of hesitation at the start. Yeah, you could immediately see that it wasn't going to be a slower time, 4.02 if I saw it correctly.
Yeah, 4.025.
And they lost it at the beginning, definitely.
Yeah, entirely so. Their first 10 meters were nearly 0.3 of a second slower.
Yeah, we could see that immediately. It was just too much hesitation at the beginning. Maybe too aggressive launch control. And yeah, but anyway, still a very decent time on the board. Very excellent time, I would say. Now we have Hamburg back again for the second and final run.
Yeah, 3.95 on their first attempt. But it did look very good. So let's see if they can improve. Smooth launch this time around. A little bit of a wiggle.
Yeah, I was about to say that. So that means that you have to lift off just a little bit. But still, 3.92, very decent. Yeah. Like we always say, below 4 seconds, it's good.
Indeed, they did manage to improve a little bit. And let's see if Eindhoven can improve as well.
Yeah, they did a 3.57, 3.59?
3.526.
5.2 even, okay. So that was very quick indeed. Can they break the 3.5 barrier? The launch is good. Nothing to complain about that. So that should be, yeah, there you go, 3.49. Even if it's 300 of a second, it's an improvement.
Yeah, fantastic time by Eindhoven.
Yeah.
Virtually the same as the fastest time from Aachen.
It's funny how we can tell from the launch already if it's going to be a good time or not. Yeah, it's great to see. 141 Vienna back again. It looks like Eindhoven stalled just at the end of the track. So that means the golf cart is off again. Means Vienna has to be patient and wait a little bit. So yeah, it should be interesting after the track is cleared.
So still a little bit of a break in the action as we wait for the car from Eindhoven, I believe, to be removed from the finishing area past the finish line. And speaking of breaks, I think Mickey will be taking a little bit of a break now. So if you hear a new voice on the commentary, that will be Matthias.
Yes, indeed. Quickly catching up with what's been going on. I heard it's been a very exciting acceleration so far, but the time from the driverless has not been beaten yet. Not sure if we still expect that to happen.
Yes, but, definitely still a couple of very fast cars waiting in the first run and second run queues. So all still to play for, as they say. But looking at the past couple of years, I think already for 2 years running, the fastest acceleration time was driverless. Those weight savings are difficult to beat. But let's see what happens this year.
Yeah, and that's nice to see that finally the driverless cars are starting to be better than the human ones in stuff like acceleration and even skid pad for some of the teams. And indeed, we are waiting still for the Eindhoven car to be cleared. So they have this really cool system, of course, with the cart where they bring the team members to the stranded car in order to push it. And after that, once we hopefully will get going, things will get exciting, because we have the Vienna car, which you know, is a bit reminiscent of a combustion car, ready for the acceleration. After that, we have either Delft or Zurich. They're like almost lined up as if they were going to do a drag race. Behind them, University of Ghent. I have not seen them here yet. Maybe they did an acceleration run before.
Yeah, they did one. They were very gentle, as we said. So still second run to come.
And then also Diepholz. So all these cars are already charged up and ready to go. So once we get green light, or better, a green flag, then we should see a whole lot of cars fly past.
Yeah, it seems the Eindhoven car is still in the process of retrieval. So hopefully they'll be able to clear it quickly. Just over 45 minutes left in the event. I see you didn't mention them, but the car from Rennteam Stuttgart is lining up as well. We'll see how quickly they can go. I believe we haven't seen them participate in the manual acceleration just yet.
Yeah, maybe Yegor, while we are still waiting for the Eindhoven car, could you update me quickly on maybe the top 5 times and what teams have run it? Because I didn't quite follow the first part.
Of course, Matti, for you and for everybody else watching along, if they haven't seen it yet. In first place, we currently have provisionally TU Dresden with a 3.40, then Esslingen with a 3.44, followed by Delft with a 3.48, and then after them Munich with also a 3.48. And they actually have the exact same time, down to the thousandth of a second. But given that Delft is listed as higher in the timing sheets, there's probably a difference in the 10,000th spot, but still very, very close between them. And Aachen with a 3.481 as well, in fact. We have a three-way draw. And then Zurich with a 3.489, Eindhoven also with a 3.489, and rounding out the, well, those are the ones that are faster than 3.5, and then we have DHBW Stuttgart with a 3.505.
Wow, okay, some very impressive times so far, and very close, like a three-way battle with the same time.
Literally a three-way tie for third place at the moment.
Okay, okay. Maybe they should fight it out during the award ceremony. But I think we're hearing some cheers here. The helmets, the visors, they close. That means we are ready to go racing again. The first team on the line, TU Wien, de Vienna. And will it be as noisy as it was this morning and yesterday? Let's see. Definitely as noisy. Clean getaway. And it is a 3.55.
Yes, very good time. They managed to improve by just a little bit. So whatever changes they may have made definitely paid off. And now we see Delft, car number 85, lining up for their second attempt.
Yeah, and they already had a very good first run, of course. And as you just mentioned, what did they have changed some settings? Will they go for a bit more aggressive style, or will it be a similar time? Let's see what they can shave off. Yeah. This might also give an indication if the track is evolving or not.
Yeah, 3.481 to beat.
Yeah, that's quite the benchmark. If they can improve on that, that would be very good.
But we see the golf cart is taking off to the finish line. Perhaps some trouble with retrieving the Vienna car.
Yeah, but there's no team member on board, so maybe it's for a different purpose. So I'll quickly have a look.
I see the Eindhoven car is being pushed back through the return lane.
Yeah, so maybe there is some troubles. Yeah, definitely something going on. I wonder what the acceleration time of the golf cart would be. Would be very cool to see, like a normal car, like yesterday, the Volkswagen, do a run on the acceleration track, just to give an idea of how quick these Formula Student cars are.
Well, probably not the fairest to compare a racing prototype with a passenger passenger hatchback. Oh, there's a big part of the TU Vienna car returning with the Marshall. Delft, meanwhile, has set off on their second run. Unfortunately, unable to improve at 3.53.
Yeah, their launch seemed as if they had a delay on the initial kick, or maybe it held back just after the first part. Still a very impressive time, though. And I think they can be happy with their previous time.
And we can see what was missing from the Vienna cart was the front hatch. It flew off at some point, and the Marshalls had to retrieve it. AMZ now going for their second attempt. 3.489, only 0.008 of the time from the Delft car just before them. Yeah, let's see if they can improve.
And this morning they had a very impressive run of, what was it, 3.2?
3.231, something like that.
So basically here we're seeing the effect of having a driver in the car, how much time it costs. Pooh. To me that sounded like quite some wheel spin, but...
Yes, indeed. Also, similar to Delft, unable to improve, a 3.54.
Interesting. Maybe the track is ramping down. Maybe we're losing grip a bit.
On the skin, it does feel a little bit cooler than it was earlier in the day. But I think it could more so be that the teams already had their optimal acceleration settings dialed in, and now they were just testing some tweaks just to see if it works. But it is also very possible that they already had their best setup on their first attempt.
Yeah, it could be. A bit like in the skid pad, we saw the same thing. At some point you reach your limit, and then you start to go over it, and you just lose time. But quite impressive times. Who do we have here? Of course, it's the Ghent team. Designed for speed, tested in panic. Let's hope they're not panicking now.
Yeah, 4.823 on their first attempt.
Let's see, is that a four-wheel driven car? I think it's only rear-wheel driven. Ooh, slow getaway. Some issues on the launch. That will cost them some time. Yeah. 5.68.
And quite a bit of wobbling both under acceleration and especially after braking afterwards as well. So seem to be some balance issues with the car. But now we have car number 120, Diepholz, lining up. They set a 4.57 on their first run.
I think, are they also a rear-wheel driven car? It's hard to see from here. Maybe I'll stand a little closer. I can tell you a bit more details about the cars.
Very smooth getaway.
Yeah, definitely very smooth. I wonder if it's the system or the driver that is controlling it a bit. It's a 4.6. Is that an improvement for them?
No, not an improvement, unfortunately. 0.05 of a second slower. So very, very similar to their first time. Mickey and I were also speculating earlier that maybe there's a bit of wind picking up. As you can tell, Matti, the wind is blowing into the car, and the cars are driving into the wind. So beneficial to have your wings as flat as possible.
True, but it can also be beneficial in terms of downforce. So maybe it can play into your advantage.
Does it?
Yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting to hear a calculation. What is more important, a bit more drag or a bit more downforce at some point?
Do we know any software that's good for data analysis?
Nice. I won't go into it. But given that all the teams here have opened DRS, I think you're probably right that the drag is more relevant. Green team, I think they had a really good time already on the board. They also used to have a very good track record when it comes to acceleration here on FSG.
Yeah, the run that we missed while we were chatting was car number 97 from Landshut. They said a 4.23 on their first run. So very good first attempt. And let's see what Stuttgart can do.
A solid getaway. And of course planted all the way. 3.45 is an improvement for them.
This was their first attempt, so already very, very good.
You were mentioning the HBW Stuttgart maybe before.
Yeah, I think this is either the second or the third fastest time of the day.
Yeah, it looked very good. Very clean launch and then powering through up till the end. Who do we have here in front of us? UAS Ravensburg. Weingarten, I think. Lots of wheel spin. Driver had to correct big time in order to keep it straight.
Yeah, I think that happened on their first run as well. And it's unfortunately not an improvement for them. It was 3.5 in the first run, very, very good time. And this time a 4.001.
We have our driver with the orange helmet again from Augsburg. Trying to position the car properly. So they are aiming the car to be on the exact right spot so that all competitors start from the exact same location and distance before the timing. Every centimeter or millimeter matters in the situation. The marshal gets a little bit of feedback whether the car is positioned well or not. Once it's okay, then everyone's ready to go. And we're looking forward to seeing Augsburg, their acceleration. Did they already have a run, Igor?
No, they did not. This is their first attempt, and unfortunately not a very quick one.
Yeah, it's the same problem they had on Skidpad, their first run, where there's an initial kick and then seemingly some motors cut out or it goes into some safety setting. And it's slowly making its way to the end.
Yeah, but you can hear the audience cheering them on, willing the car to complete their first run.
So it did the 75 meters, but it still needs to cover until the end. This might take a little bit. I think, was it 28 seconds? I wonder what the speed was at the end.
Well, probably more or less the same as it was in the beginning. It was a 9.5 kilometers per hour. So, you know, a nice jogging pace.
Yeah, there must be some kind of safety that triggers immediately. We saw the same thing during Skidpad. I hope they are getting cleared in time before Landshut flies over there.
Yeah, I think as long as they're able to move under their own power, the marshals will allow them to drive away on their own.
Yeah, if it's 9 kilometers per hour, it's still better than being pushed.
Indeed, but looking at the queue, the amount of time left in the event is running down, and the amount of cars in the queue is running up.
Here we are again. Too little time, too many cars. Landshut, meanwhile, still waiting for the track being declared green, or at least clear. I don't see the Augsburg car anymore, so we'll soon get going, and the green flag is given. Oh, very clean getaway this time. And a 4.2. Here we have our green car again, Ren team.
Yeah, it was an improvement from Lancet, 1/100th of a second faster, 4.21 as opposed to 4.22. And let's see if Iran team can improve as well. It was a 3.451, currently third provisionally on the board.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how the launch is going to go this time. It was already pretty good in the first run. Hard to tell, but it's looking very good. 3.49, it's
a little bit slower, a little bit slower.
Interesting. Many teams that do not improve on their second run. UAS Hanover, car 84. I think this is another rear-wheel driven car. Sometimes from these cars we see a little bit of a wheel spin spectacle, depending on how good their traction control is. The rear wing says, "It's my first time, be gentle." Let's see. Oh, the driver is very gentle on throttle. And it's a 6.1. A beautiful car from Bremen making its way 272 to the starting grid. It's the first time I've seen this one today. With DRS wide open, ready to have some fun on the acceleration track. Let's see, is it the four-wheel driven car or only rear-wheel? It does look like it's a four-wheel driven car. And off they go.
Yeah, good launch. 3.983.
Yeah, I think they can get a little bit more out of the launch phase, but certainly after 2-3 meters they were going all out. And I love this car, the car from Ostfalia, WOP Racing.
Yeah, they haven't set any times today yet. This will be their first attempt.
And they had a very impressive skid pad, remember this morning?
Indeed, I think they were one of the last cars to come in, and they set a very, very quick time.
DRS, again for them, also wide open. And yeah, very curious what they can bring. I think it's a four-wheel driven car as well. So it can be a quick time, usually definitely below the 4. Oh, nice launch, a little bit of wheel spin. Car was jumping around with it, it's a 3.51.
A fantastic run.
Interesting, car squatting a bit on launch, making 3 kind of jumps before it properly got going, but really quick time. Trondheim, did they already have a time?
Yes, they did. Their first run was a 3.588, so already very, very quick. But I'm sure they'll be hoping to improve to get closer to the low 3.5s, maybe even high 3.4s.
Yeah, they should manage. A very good team, very professional. They probably looked at some data, figured out what the issues were, and let's hope for them they can make a great acceleration. Looks very clean launch, but I think the car stops accelerating.
Yes, indeed.
So either, I don't think the driver got scared. I think one of the motor controllers got a bit scared.
Yeah, it was a 4.12 in the end, and I'm not sure whether they are moving or not.
No, I think they're stalled at the end. Hopefully the driver can get it going again. Already the push bar guy, the jackman, is being driven towards the car. But I see some marshals approaching the vehicle, but they're not yet touching it or doing anything with it, so maybe the driver can get it going again. This also means we'll have a little pause again, because of course this car needs to be cleared, otherwise it would be very unsafe to let a new car go. So this means that in the rear-run queue, or at least second run queue, we have 2 cars stacked, the Bremen car and the Ostfalia car. And in the queue, Amberg Weiden making its way, And the number 66 is from Nuremberg, is that correct?
Yes, indeed. Also, we have car number 17 from Cluj. They were, I think, one of the first ones to set their first time, and now coming back for their second. And also car number 121 approaching for the first time.
And the Trondheim car being pushed away. That means that in a few seconds' time, we should be able to get going again. Of course, better safe than sorry. So once the track is clear, they will check if all the marshals are ready again and if everything's safe. And then we can start the party again. I really like the quote from, is it from Boff?
Yes, indeed.
8 kilo what?
They had a 4.308 on their first run, so already a pretty good time.
Let's see if they drive a bit on the left on the acceleration straight. And I see a green flag appearing. And Boff is ready to go. Tentative launch, but they're really pulling hard through the second part of the acceleration.
Yeah, but I think that tentative launch might have let them down a little bit. Almost 0.2 slower on their second attempt, 4.49.
And Bremen, oh, beautiful touch of green on their car.
Yeah, already a very fast time, 3.983 on the board. And let's see whether going again without changing any big settings. Obviously, there are some things you can change from the dashboard on certain cars. But let's see whether something they might have done or not done affects their time.
Yeah, it's always a bit the question, do you change settings or do you just go again with more grip? They have a lot of wheel spin on the front wheels. The driver had struggles to keep it straight and correct it.
Yeah, but it's an improvement nevertheless, from a 3.98 to a 3.87.
Yeah, so maybe the driver actually took a little bit more cautious in the first run and now just floored it. Westfalia here for their second run. The previous run, remember, they were like jumping around a bit. Let's have a look if they do that again, but it was a really quick launch.
Yeah, car number 35 had a 3.5. Let's see if they can break down into the 34s.
Off they go, get the green flag. Less bouncing, so is it also quicker?
It is 1/1000th of a second quicker, from a 3.511 to a 3.510.
Okay, so really consistent performance by WOP Racing.
That probably implies that the car was already very much near the limit of its performance.
Yeah, true, and it's a very good time. I mean, 3.5. That's what many teams can dream of.
Yeah, it's definitely in the top 10 of what we've seen so far. And let's see now car number 66 from Nuremberg going for their first run.
Yeah, you can always recognize the car from Nuremberg from their silver, flashy livery. I hope they don't change that, otherwise we'll get confused again in coming years. And a really nicely looking car. I think it's a four-wheel driven one, so that means we might see a quick acceleration time. Of course, the more wheels you need to drive, the more chance you get that one of them is slipping a bit. And off they go.
Yeah, like you said, Matti, quite a bit of slipping in the beginning, but still a very good time, 3.875.
Yeah, I think they had at least a 5 meters burnout on the strip, dropping down some rubber for everyone, hopefully also for themselves. And yeah, those tire temps will have peaked. Can they maintain that temperature now? Because it's quite a long run back. and sometimes you need to wait a bit if there's a car stranded.
And now we have car number 121, another new entrant, University of Pisa, lining up.
I've not seen them yet today. So first appearance on the dynamic stage. They went again for like the iconic Pisa monuments on their rear wing. Really cool. I think last year they had it as well. Off they go. Oh, interesting sound. Actually, a really clean launch for this car. 4.64. A very clean run, and gives them definitely some points. Amberg Weiden lining up now. I think when I was competing, they actually ran away with the trophy for acceleration one day. Can they replicate that performance? While I say that, unfortunately, the Pisa car seems like they got stranded, so our taxi service is bringing one of the team members to their car so they can get pushed away. It's interesting to see how many cars get kind of stranded on acceleration. You would kind of feel that it's quite a straightforward event, but I guess these cars are being pushed to their absolute limit in terms of speed, which might cause some of the cars to have some motor controller issues, because at these higher speeds these motors are rotating very fast, giving quite a challenge to the motor controllers and all the electronics.
Yeah, indeed. We've seen that a couple of times here, also in the middle of the run, that the car sets off really quickly and then suddenly the power just cuts out.
Yeah, this is of course the event where, you know, max power, max torque is the most relevant. So all these cars are tuned up to the max, and then sometimes a bit over the max.
So Running Snail in their first attempt had a 3.574, already a very, very quick time. And let's see how much they'll be able to improve by.
And from what we can see, there's no car on the track now, so it's a matter of waiting until the official gives the green flag. Official's doing a quick check to see if all's okay. And then from the radio, he gets the signal that that track is clear. And I do see a green flag. Running Snail is, oh, good launch. One little jump, but it's a 3.6, surprises me.
Yeah,
very quick.
Very, very quick. Not quite as quick as their first run, but still a very good time on both runs. I'm sure the team will be very happy with it. And now Nuremberg back for their second attempt. 3.875 to beat.
Yeah, so they were the ones that doing the burnout, I think, 2 minutes ago. And they, of course, had to wait a little bit. So let's see how much of that tire temp is still in there. Lots of sponsors and lots of stickers on the inside of their rear wing. Seems like they're collecting all the stickers there are. I cannot see if we are waiting for a car that needs to be cleared or is there something else. Nope, green flag. So Nuremberg is ready to go. The driver, yeah, I think pressed the shutdown button. Not sure why. Pressing it a few times. Will he restart it? I think once you press the shutdown, it's over, no? Yeah, no, driver is waving some signals that indicate that it's over. Yeah, not sure what happened there, but driver clearly wanted to shut down the car, so something must have gone wrong. Nice officials even helping to get the car cleared. I have to do a little U-turn here.
Yeah, and of course, I think the officials very much interested in getting things moving as quickly as possible, because I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cars in the queue, and just under 20 minutes left in the event.
23, Poznan. I haven't seen them today nor yesterday.
No, this is at the very least today their first run at Acceleration.
Also DRS wide open. It's a four-wheel driven car, so we can expect some times under 4 seconds, assuming of course they get their launch right. They also went for the blue, orange and black details on their car. Tentative getaway and not pulling too hard, but 5.6 is a pretty decent time. Team members are very happy and that they completed their first successful event here on FSG, but they of course have a second run, so maybe they can pump it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think now we have car number 161, Haag Göttingen. We saw them only just make it in time for the skid pad event this morning. Unfortunately, they were unable to finish. Their car had some trouble during the second loop, I believe. So let's see if they can successfully finish Acceleration.
Yeah, they did a crazy job in getting the car ready in like 1 or 2 minutes, because that's the time they had before skid pad. Off they go. Oh, nice. A bit of wheel spin, but the driver corrects for it. Off they go. It's 4.88. I think that's a pretty decent time given the amount of wheel spin they had initially.
And now we have car number 69, Mannheim. There seems to be a little bit of a delay with the launch. Matti, can you see what might be causing it?
No, I cannot actually. Maybe some car stranded, but it's out of my sight. It could also be something completely different, you know. Maybe there's some other issue with... Oh, and as I say so, they got given the green flag and a pretty quick getaway. 4.34, definitely pulling it all the way at the end, to the end of the Acceleration. Must be a lot of fun to drive it.
Yeah, now car number 17 from Cluj, 6.45 on their first attempt. And that was set very early on in the Acceleration event. So maybe this will give us a bit of an idea of how the track has evolved throughout the Acceleration runs.
Yeah, but we have many teams doing their second run, even back-to-back runs, without any significant improvement. So feels like the track conditions are very constant throughout the past hours. Yeah, and there's a car being pushed into the what is it called? The rerun zone. And behind that is the blue car of, is that Göttingen?
That is indeed the 161 of Göttingen. And once again, a delay on the start.
Yeah, it was the Pisa car being pushed back. It's quite a walk from the end of the Acceleration.
Cluj, meanwhile, does get the green flag. And they do improve by nearly a second.
Yeah, they actually had pretty decent launch, but then it seems like their top speed was limited. Although it does say 127. Is that the top speed? I can barely believe it.
I think that's the number of the car lined up right now.
Of course. Lausanne.
Yeah, they had a bit of trouble in their first run, 52 seconds.
And again, initial launch, the first meters was okay, but then looks like one of the motors cut away because the car was like veering to the right. It came to a halt at the very end of the acceleration. They actually made the acceleration in 16 seconds. No, sorry, that's again the car number.
Yeah, it was 10 seconds for Lausanne, but a similar thing happened on their first run, that their car just stopped at the end of the straight, and the driver had to restart it a couple of times to get it back to the inspection area.
Luckily for them and everyone else, they managed to get the car restarted, so it will come back on its own power, probably. Hopefully they can do... Oh no, this was their second run, so that's it for them. At least they have an improvement, maybe the most significant improvement of everyone.
I hear a big cheer for Cluj. But now we have car number 161 from Göttingen waiting for their second attempt. 4.881 to beat.
Careful launch, but then quite quickly at the end.
Yeah, but a little bit too careful of a launch, it seems. Not improving, a 5.35. And now we have car number 197 from Schweinfurt going for their first attempt.
Let's see if we can get another time under 4 seconds. They might be able to do it. Did they already have a time?
No, like I mentioned, their first attempt, quite a bit of a burnout at the start, a bit of a wobble.
At the start, they did half the acceleration as a full burnout.
And there was a 4.393.
Something tells me it was their tactic to do a burnout and then use that tire temperature now to do another one. But I think the second run queue is pretty filled. As I say so, they are pulling away the Mannheim car.
Yeah, they wanted to go for their second run immediately, but I heard the marshal say that because the car stalled, they need to take it through the inspection first. But now we have...
Yeah, the car from KTH Stockholm.
Indeed.
4.15.
Yes, and it is improvement of 0.2 for them. And now we have car number 34 from Ingolstadt. They also already set a time. That was a 6.003.
They are running the Goodyear tires, and those tires, they make me think a bit of these dragster tires that fold all the way. So maybe if they went for low tire pressures, we might see the same thing if we're looking at it from slow motion. Tentative at the start, but then pulling through. 6.2. Yeah, 6.3.
Not quite an improvement, a quarter of a second slower. But it didn't seem like there was too much left in that car, at least at this point in time.
And this is Augsburg. I think they were the one that kind of stalled after a few meters and then continued on at 9 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, indeed. 28.262 was the time on their first run. Hopefully any issues they've had, they've ironed out.
Yeah, hopefully they can do a clean... The driver is waving something. Shaking his head no. Not sure if it's he's just a bit nervous. I hear the T-cell again, so he just recycled the car. I see no. Something's wrong. Yeah, he's looking back, trying to find his teammates. And unfortunately for them, it's an unsuccessful second run.
Yes, that is very unfortunate indeed. We have car number 197, Schweinfurt, waiting for their second run. And then with just under 10 minutes left on the clock, 4 more cars in the queue. 2 waiting for their first run. That is car number 30 from Krakow and car number 97.
We're looking at the U-turn from Augsburg. And then indeed it will be Schweinfurt first.
And car number 97 is from Landshut.
They just did like a really nice burnout. That was them, right? From Schweinfurt?
Yes.
For like half the acceleration straight. I kind of hope now they dial in the real settings. Still quite a burnout. It's 4.22.
Yeah, improving by almost 2/10.
Oh, they went with a really cool livery, yeah? The Krakow car. With these pink and purple accents on the back. In a really cool, like tribal shape, almost.
I think it's meant to be more of a lightning strike, but it does indeed look like a little bit like those old tribal tattoos.
Interesting. They had initial launch, the front wheel spinning too much, but the car or the driver recovered from it.
It was a good time, 4.28. And now we have car number 253 from Kiel. And they actually had a very fast time, 3.549. But there was a very big spin. The driver did a full-on 360 after the finish line and ended up in the grass. But thankfully, no harm to anyone or anything. The car was able to come back under its own power. So let's hope for the same speed, but maybe a little bit fewer theatrics from Kiel on their second run.
Oh yeah. Quite a bit of wheel spin at the beginning, but it's an extremely almost spins it at the end. But really fast time from them. It's 3.52.
Yes, improving by 200ths, and the driver again managing to, well, the car again trying to spin, but the driver managing to keep it under control this time. As we have car number 97 from Landshut lining up for their second attempt. Third attempt. Not sure what's happening there.
Yeah, me neither, unless they have given a rerun. You can probably see it better on your laptop.
Well,
how many runs they had?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the timing board, and they have run 1, 4.229, run 2, 4.213, and this is their third time, 4.286.
Okay,
so probably there is some sort of rerun situation happening with the marshals, but I'm sure everything will be figured out and sorted out in the end.
Mute button is
Sorry, little technical difficulties there with the audio equipment. Car number 30 from Krakow lining up for their second run. 4.280 to beat. And a 4.27, improving by exactly 100th.
And Augsburg, that's nice. They got given kind of a rerun. Remember 1 minute ago they were kind of stalled here a bit, but the driver indicated immediately that something was wrong. They managed to restart or fix, and fingers crossed that they can have a successful run now. Oh, that's looking a lot better. Still quite a quick launch and pulling through, a 5.01.
Yeah, decent time for Augsburg, especially compared to their first attempt. So
yeah,
great to see them finish one successful acceleration run.
Yeah, definitely. They had skid pad had like a similar issue during launch before as well, and now it was a really clear one.
And I am now seeing car number 97 from Landshut coming in for a fourth run. Is a 4.249. So not quite beating their fastest time, but very, very close to it.
Yeah, we actually missed the time from Esslingen due to our little audio debug session. But it was actually a 3.46, one of the quickest one we've seen in the past half hour.
Yes, indeed. 3.46 from Esslingen, not quite improving on their first. That was a 3.44, but still phenomenally fast.
And yeah, looks like the teams have managed a lot better. It's 4 more minutes to go. There's only one car in the queue. But it looks like something might be off. I think is it a team from Barcelona? I'll have a closer look, but they're running away from me now. Yeah, it was the second team or the first team from Barcelona with their green accents on the car. But something seemed to be wrong, so they are retracting from the queue, and there's 3 more minutes to go, but no cars in the queue. So I would have a feeling that they will start to wrap up this acceleration session. And then I think immediately after this we start the acceleration for the historic cars. Not 100% sure. Or do we have a little break?
No, indeed. The driverless autocross should already have started half an hour ago, so hopefully Mickey and or Jonas are there commentating. And the historic acceleration, yes, will start immediately after this in 3 minutes' time.
There is a car coming. Is that still a car from the real competition, or is it already a first historic one? There is 2 more minutes left. I hear 1 minute 40. It is the car from